All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with UFC fighter, my boy Tuco. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. Glad to be on, man. Thanks for having me.
My man, my man. Now, it's been about 5 days since your last fight. Talk to us about how you're feeling and what it was like to be in the UFC.
Dude, it was a crazy, crazy week, man. I don't know if they spoke about it much on the broadcast. I haven't watched back, but yeah, I was on the other side of the world when I got the call. I flew out to Abu Dhabi to corner some of my teammates on UAE Warriors. And then the same night I landed, like a few hours later, I got the call. And I just had to head to the airport and get on the next flight back to the US. So it was crazy how it all happened. I didn't really have much time to think. I landed in Vegas, went straight to the fighter hotel, checked in, and then just checked my weight and got to the weight cut, man.
Yeah. Now, speaking about that weight cut, man, how was that weight cut? And just being on such short notice.
Dude, it was crazy. Probably the worst of my life by far. I was 232 in Abu Dhabi when I left. But the most frustrating thing was I couldn't really check when I was on my way, like I didn't have a scale. I didn't know what to do. I called my nutritionist. He was like, just try and get 2 gallons in on the way. And I had to cut sodium and all that shit, like on the way. And I didn't know what time zone I was in. I was so confused, man. But just had to get there, got to Vegas and then I could get with my people and the UFC staff. And but then I had other shit to do, I had to do my medicals and media day and all the fighter check-in and the anti-doping sign-up and all this shit. It was crazy, bro. I didn't even really sleep on the whole fight week.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, man. And when it comes to taking the fight on short notice, I'm sure you took it to get into the UFC. Would you be willing to do another short notice fight after such a rough weight cut?
I would, because I doubt that I'll ever be in those circumstances. Like, I'll never know if it would, what really affected me. Was it, of course it was a weight cut, but there's one thing to have to cut a lot of weight, one thing to be on short notice, and it's another thing to have to travel from the other side of the world, time zones. It was like everything was against me,
Yeah, 100%. And, you've always been really close to the UFC. You've cornered a bunch of guys. You've watched fights, and you've been right there. What did it feel like to finally get that call, man?
Dude, it was great. It was great to get the call, obviously, and fight in the UFC. But as soon as I left the cage, like I said to my boy Brendan, because he's at the highest level, he's fighting in main events, 3 main events in a row or whatever. And I was like, dude, fighting in the UFC ain't shit. It just feels like a normal fight. Maybe that's because I've been at the Apex so much. I've been standing in that octagon, so maybe that's why. But honestly, it felt like no other fight. It just felt like normal.
Right. Now, when you got offered this fight, was this just a one fight, or do you happen to have another one that you're gonna?
I signed a multi-fight, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
So now I can. It's funny, like straight after that fight, my manager was like, "Do you want to fight in Manchester?" Because obviously I'm from the UK.
Yep.
I was like, "Let me get home, man. I need to fucking recover from that cut and take a week,
Yeah, 100%. Now, speaking about recovery, are you back in the gym yet, or are you still recovering?
Yeah, I've been to the gym a couple times. I haven't done any sparring or anything yet because I didn't get hit once in the fight. He landed 0 significant strikes, but just the weight cut. I want to make sure my brain is hydrated and my body's feeling good first before I start getting punched.
Right. No, it definitely makes sense, man. And obviously, you were an OG with the Black Zillions. Talk to us a little bit more about training with the Black Zillions. I think it's now Killcliff now.
So when I first came to Florida, the Black Zillions just ended. So they just ended. I didn't actually go to the Black Zillions gym, but I came just as they ended, and the team had broken up, and Henry Hooft and Greg Jones, they took 10 or 12 of the guys maybe, and they took them to a small gym called Combat Club. That's when I rocked up, and it was crazy. There was 10 guys. Now I don't know how many survivors there are from that team, maybe 6 guys left.
Right.
So I am one of the longest tenured guys in the gym. It's crazy to see how it's grown, because when I came, there was one shower. We were training out of someone else's gym. But I remember my first rounds in the gym, I walked in and I told Henry, look, I'm here for a month. I want to train. And he was like, you got your shit? We're about to spar in 5 minutes. I was like, damn. Yeah, I ran to the car and got my shit. My first rounds were Luke Rockhold when he was good, Kamaru, Jason Jackson, Linton Vassell, like Stefan Struve. It was just killers. Like I was like, damn. And then after Henry said, "Oh, you're good, man. You can train with us."
Nice.
So since then, I've been there, man. It's crazy to see how the team's grown. Like from there, we went to Hard Knocks. From there, went to Samford. That now became Killcliff. Now we got like 75 pros on the mat. It's
Nice.
crazy to see the evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. And you just name dropped a couple of beasts that you were training with and sparring against. Who do you think out of all the guys you sparred with in your MMA career was maybe the toughest matchup for you?
Damn, man. I've trained with some great guys all over the world. Like I've trained in Thailand, I've trained in Sweden, the UK, I've trained all over America. I'd say the best guys I've trained with, I'd put Brendan Allen up there just because his all-round skill set and his mentality. Jason Jackson, man, he's still underrated. He's finally getting talked about now that he's got a belt and he's got a couple belts. But dude, that guy, I think he's the best welterweight in the world. He's so good. He's good everywhere. And again, his mentality. And then there's a bunch of just unknown guys from Russia, from the Caucasus region that you would never have heard of, but they're just murderers, man. They're killers. They don't speak any English, and they're just so good everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's probably who stands out.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Jason Jackson. He's definitely I'm glad
So
he's getting he's very, very awesome. And man, when it comes to the UFC, you mentioned in another interview that you like to get laid, you like to get paid. What's the lady life like after you got signed to the UFC?
Nah, bro, I'm just keeping my head down, you know. I keep my private life very private.
Well, good.
Yeah, I keep my private life private, and that's how it stays good and stays happy, man. I don't mix the two, you know. I won't even speak about it now.
There you go. I like it. I respect it, man. And another thing I learned about you too. You started jiu-jitsu when you were 20 years old, man. How'd you get into that, and what was that like?
Dude, I think I was like watching Shogun fight or something in the UFC. I think he was a champ at the time. And I was like, my mum's actually from Brazil. And I was like, damn, I'm half Brazilian. I should really do like Brazilian jiu-jitsu because I'm not very good at football, at soccer. So I was like, I should fucking do jiu-jitsu. It might be in my blood. So I just went and started training. And I was decent at it, man. But I wish I was like one of these kids who started when I was like fucking 10 years old or 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like Brendan Allen started when he was like 10 or something. He's been doing jiu-jitsu his whole life, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. And when it comes to just like training and stuff, like you mentioned, you wish you would have did it a little bit younger. Do you wish you maybe started like, or if you had to maybe take it back to somebody else and give them advice, would you maybe start with like, Muay Thai or like jiu-jitsu? I guess how would you maybe do it over if you could?
I think after moving to America, I'd say wrestling, man. If you look at the champs, most of them have a wrestling base, and it just instills the discipline and the work ethic that you need to become an actual champion. And just they're all competitors, man. They've had hundreds and hundreds of matches, and they're just used to competing. I'd definitely say wrestling is a great foundation. We don't have that in England. We don't wrestle in school, and we don't have a good wrestling pedigree. But yeah, I'd say wrestling, because if you can commit to wrestling, then you can learn anything. You can go and learn the other disciplines because you have that work ethic and that discipline.
Right. Now, when it comes to just like cornering people and stuff, what's maybe some cool like behind the scenes stuff that maybe a fight fan might not know about when it comes to cornering?
Damn, I've cornered so many fights. Cornering's such a thrill, especially when you have a great relationship and you love the guy. I'm actually in my garage gym right now, and I keep some of the corner shirts, the ones that are significant to me. I get the guys to sign them and I frame them. Like certain debuts or knockouts and stuff. Like I got Gerald Meerschaert's last walkout shirt up there because he broke Anderson Silva. He tied Anderson Silva's finishing record in the division. So like that one meant a lot to me. I kept that one. Hopefully I'm at his next fight and I can have it when he breaks it. But stuff that stands out, it's just like the stuff you don't see on the broadcast. For example, like Brendan's always talking shit. Like up until the fight literally starts, man, he always turns back to the corner and says some shit while the referee's asking if he's ready. He always says some goofy shit like, I might be waking up here in a minute. Or like when he fought Andre Muniz, he said, hey, just know if he breaks my arm, he's that good.
That's awesome.
And
That's
I'm
right.
like, focus on the fight, you dumbass.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And when we were first getting this interview book, man, you mentioned Will, and talking about Will, man. How did you guys kind of meet?
Dude, so Will was a famous troll. I don't know if you see his highlights, but he trolled a lot of like big time fighters. And he
Okay.
actually trolled me. I met him because he trolled me. I lost a fight in 2020. I think he had bet on me. He DM'd me to let me know his feelings about me. And I'm not one to shy away, bro. I just confronted him. And I actually, I found out where he worked. And I pulled up at his workplace. Yeah, I think he's in Brookhaven in PA outside of
Yeah,
Sydney. Yeah, I went there. It was like a grocery store. I pulled up on him. We squashed the beef, had lunch, talked, said, let's stay in touch, man. And yeah, ever since he comes to all my fights, we talk pretty much every day. Yeah, he's a good kid, Will.
that's hilarious. I had no idea about that. And like speaking about Will, man, do you happen to train with him at all?
No, I know he started training, right?
Yeah,
But I will. I told him when he loses some weight, we can train.
that's awesome.
I'm going to mess him up.
There you go. Yeah, you gotta get him back though. After that, that's hilarious. I hope he's betting on you now. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And when it comes to just like you mentioned a little bit about like weight cutting and stuff. Now after the fight, what do you typically like to eat afterwards, man?
Bro, with this one, because it was short notice, it's like after the fight, I was just focused. Like I felt like after the fight was over, I could just actually start my UFC career. Like, all right, all that shit's over. Now I've got time to just decompress, get my body right. So I haven't been really going crazy, to be honest. I've just been like eating good whole foods,
Right.
like good carbs and good protein, and just because where I had to like make the weight, I like had to cut back on just normal food. So now I'm just reintroduced normal food and I'm getting healthy and enjoying that.
Nice, nice. Now, when it comes to just like training and stuff in the gym, do you like to do any sort of weight training? And if so, what's maybe some of your favorite stuff to do when it comes to weight training?
Yeah, my team is cool because we all train as a group. We train with Dr. Corey Peacock. He's been doing the strength and conditioning for our team for a decade. It's great. We all get together and train, and like the camaraderie, the competitiveness is there because we're all in the room. There could be 20 of us training together, but he has us doing a lot of functional dynamic shit. We'll be pushing sleds, doing sprints, air dying. We get in the compound lifts. We do body weight stuff. We do conditioning. It's sick. We do everything. It's in like a NFL combine facility. So we have a little half 40-yard track there that we do sprints on. We have all the battle ropes and all the ladders and everything, man. It's sick.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely sounds like it, man. And when it comes to your fighting career, obviously, train with a bunch of beasts in the gym. You have some awesome coaches. What do you think is maybe the best advice you got so far in your MMA career?
The best advice is that you should be on the mats, man, because the time is going to pass anyway. So it's like the time is going to pass anyway. That's a fact. So you may as well be there. And there's a great meme that one of my coaches sent me once, and it was a young fighter saying, I want to be a champion. And the coach says to him, show up every day on time. And the fighter's like, oh, damn. Like, that's the starting point, man. Show up every day on time. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't do that, you can't do shit,
Right. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, man. And getting back to your jiu-jitsu stuff, man, obviously when you started when you were 20 years old, do you happen to have some favorite submissions you like to hit in the gym?
I just like to go for the neck, man. I don't really go for joints.
Okay.
I just like to go ninja choke, guillotine, rear naked choke, DAS, anacondas, things like that, man. I just like to grab the neck, usually from a defensive position. Like if the guy's shooting on me, I like to tie him up. Yeah, that's what I like.
Very nice, very nice. And obviously in another interview too, you mentioned you were training with Kamaru Usman to be exact, and you actually predicted that he was going to surprise a lot of people against Woodley, and he definitely did. What was it like to kind of be in the same gym with Kamaru Usman?
It was crazy, man, for that champ camp, just seeing him put in the work and watching the sparrings. Like they were doing like sparrings where the whole gym was watching him, and he really pushed that camp, and we all knew it was going to happen. And it's funny because I asked the coaches like how they felt when they were in the corner, and they said like after a couple rounds it was surreal to be there because it's like they knew it was happening and they were there as it was happening, and they just knew he was going to be the champ. obviously it's fighting. The same thing was happening against Leon in the second fight, and you get clipped. But yeah, I mean, he'll go down as one of the greatest of all time. I still rate him highly because I think even if you look at, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Even when you look at it, it's like he hasn't lost many rounds.
No.
Like the second fight with Leon, he won like 4 of the rounds. And then I actually thought he won the third fight. People say I'm crazy, but I thought if he still had the belt and that fight was in America, he would have won. They would have given him that fight. It was competitive. He didn't get outclassed.
Right.
And then against Hamza, if that was a 5-round fight, he probably pushes through and wins that. So it's like he's barely lost these fights. People are saying he's done, but again, he's a hard worker and he has crazy experience and he's a winner. So I still think he has more to give and he'll go down as one of the GOATs.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He definitely has more to give, man. And with that being said, man, I like to ask every fighter this I bring on the show. I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been teaching for 6 years, training for 19 years, just kind of love what I do. And with that being said, with all the guys I have in my gym, what advice would you give to them to keep coming into the gym, keep on getting better and better every day?
It's like I said earlier, man, a lot of the stuff that gets you far in this sport or in combat sports isn't actually skills-based. It's like, it's the punctuality, it's the consistency, it's the discipline and the recovery and the mental aspect, you know what I mean? Because I've seen so many guys that are talented and I don't think I have any talent. You know what I mean? I say to people like, I'm not a great fighter, I'm not even good, but I'm in there, man, and I train hard, I train every day, I come to fight, I have a strong mind. You know what I mean? They're the most important things, I think, because you could have the craziest skill set in the world. Like if your mind ain't right, if you're not disciplined, if you're not consistent, it doesn't matter, man. You're gonna lose.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no,
you can't bank on luck.
No, you definitely can't. And Tuco, what's maybe some of your goals in MMA at the moment?
Dude, you know, I'm getting on a bit now. I'm in my 30s. Obviously, for my weight class, they say this is like your peak. But I don't put any pressure on myself. Like, I'm doing all right in my life. I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, I want to be a champion. I kind of fell into this sport. It's great that I've made it to the UFC. That's a great achievement. It's not to say like I'm settling, but I'm just saying I don't have any pressure, you know. I'm always going to go out there and bang and fight to the best of my ability, and I won't hold back, and I'll never play it safe. So yeah, I just want to put on great fights, man. I want to bang. That's it, bro. That sounds crazy, but that's what at the end of my career, I want to hold my head high and be like, yeah, I fucking always went out there and went for it.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like a great way to be remembered, and I like that mindset. And Tuco, man, it's been awesome talking to you, man. What's maybe a good last message out there for the fans watching this video?
Just tune in. I'm going to have a full camp for my next fight. Tune in. It's going to be entertaining. I might sleep someone. I might get slept. But yeah, someone gets finished when I fight, and that's just a fact.
Let's go. Yeah, man. Tuco, it's been awesome talking to you, man. Thank you so much for coming on right after your fight, man. And yeah, best of luck in the future, man. We're looking forward to what's next.
Thank you, brother. Speak soon.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.